rolling, guys. Hit it. Oh, that was sick.
Konami's entry into the skateboarding genre was an odd one. ESPN X Games Skateboarding we looked at yesterday was a mediocre at best foundation to what would later spawn into 2 games the following year. The first of these was Disney Sports Skateboarding on the GameCube, and if you recall my episode on it from last year's special, it was a disaster. I'd definitely recommend refreshing your memory on that game given its relevance to this video, but to summarise, it was plagued with a lack of focus, obscure level design, vague objectives, and severely lacking in substance. So it's crazy to think that both of these games released a mere 2 weeks apart in North America. Both of them being built from the same game engine established in X Games, we already know that one of these was a total train wreck. So I'm not gonna lie, my expectations for Evolution Skateboarding have already drastically depleted. Look, let's just drop in, shall we? Who knows, we might get a nice shock. What the hell? The top selling point on the back of the box says, Battle Boss Characters. Oh man. As if I wasn't already terrified to play this damn game. Well, the intro slaps, and we've got a solid selection of pros, a few returning from X Games along with the likes of Stevie Williams, Arto Sari, and Danny Way. Presentation is already off to a good start too, so ignoring the Comic Sans, it's got that gritty street aesthetic with the bopping menu music, and would you look at that, we can even create a skater. Hell yeah! Oh, how I've missed these sorts of features. Sure, this is nothing all that special, but there are enough options here to create something reasonably acceptable. This is a no-girl zone though, unfortunately. Regardless of who you select for the campaign, we get a surprising amount of control out of the gate here, with multiple adjustments for our deck to help us tweak any skater to be as balanced or specifically tuned as we please. That is really, really good. You know, by now, the whole stat points thing in Pro Skater was getting a little tired. I much prefer just having this so we can adjust our kit for any given scenario from the start of the game. We can also play dress up, though this is far more limited. Still, it's something I suppose. We can even customise our deck with different graphics and place stickers, which I feel like is pretty neat. We didn't see this sort of board customisation on this level until Underground the following year, so to think Konami's off-brand alternative did it first is very interesting to note. And would you look at that? We can even create our own unique special tricks. What? Again, this wouldn't be possible in Pro Skater until Underground, and it's fascinating to see the similarities. I'm a little shocked, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm shocked in the best possible way. What's the one thing I've been asking for of these off-brand skating titles? To be equal or try to improve on the established formula. And this game actually did it. They actually had some innovative ideas for the genre. But of course, it's reality check time. All of that means nothing if the game plays like complete trash. So let's just come back down to earth for a moment and start getting through this game, shall we? Now that I'm actually skating around, there have been far less innovations on the control side of things. It's okay. X Games was just okay. Things can be stiff, but the learning curve is about the same, meaning that after a few levels, you'll be adjusted to it just fine. Like before, there is no camera control, which can be annoying when trying to line yourself up to complete spots. Overall though, I think it's passable. The first few levels I've tried aren't the best. One of them was really vertical, which doesn't really feel natural with the heavier feel, but for the most part, it's clear this game is going for a more zany arcade approach with temple ruins, dark castle dungeons, and a Christmas village. Oh, there's Santa's bum poking out of a chimney. Let's help him out. But there are also plenty of your standard street courses as well. In fact, there is actually quite a few levels to see here. We can no longer switch between characters during our career mode, but each skater has a different career path, sometimes with entirely unique locations. That is a really cool concept. I'm kind of surprised the Tony Hawk games never stole that one, because it always got boring for me playing through the same levels with each character just to unlock things. Whereas here, it's a lot more encouraged with the variety of getting to see different areas. When some are repeated, we do get mostly the same goals, but certain collectibles might be placed in different locations, which is definitely an attempt to keep things fresh, and that's something I can really appreciate. After 3 levels, we get to our first boss battle, which is a giant truck driving out of control around the street. It's kind of lame, guys. I mean, who gives a shit? It's surprisingly difficult too, with the volume of traffic in your way and the erratic driving. Sometimes I grind the weak points and it doesn't register properly. Moving on. While many objectives are copy-pasted through the different levels with increasing difficulty, as you'd expect, I do also like how they get mixed up. Some levels we've got more items to collect or smash. There is usually a unique goal to unlock an additional area to skate by triggering a cutscene, and sometimes we're not even asked to get a high score, which does help to balance out the stiffer controls. And I kind of like that, because with the bigger levels, I'm often not interested in grinding out a high score. I just want to look around and explore, you know? Look here, there is a full loop which triggers this floating thing to come down, and now we can jump over to this high window and rescue the kids trapped inside? What kind of demented, tortured soul would lock up these children? Yeah, you can unlock Frogger in this game, but not the cute retro arcade Frogger, the fucking cursed wart-riddled PS2 Frogger. Disgusting. Before you can beat the story mode though, the final level is an encounter with a German tank threatening to blow up this city. That's a bit serious, don't you think? Maybe they should get a professional in here to deal with this. And my god, it's unpredictable. When the damn thing is showering you with hellfire grenades, it's zipping all around, making it tough to line yourself up to grind its weak points. Oh, it's just stay still. Honestly, if I could just have 2 seconds to stop and turn the camera around so that I could see what's going on, this might not be such a pain in the dick. To think boss fights were the top selling point on the box, and it's just this. Finest hour, my ass. This ending is shit. But now we've got Frogger, so let's check out some of the other modes here. Trial mode is like X Games from the previous title. It's just a competition set in either the half-pipe or the skate park, both of which seem to be on an aircraft carrier. These are something else to do, but they don't really add much for me. I'd rather see competitions included into the campaign, as 6 levels and 2 weak boss fights seems a bit short to me. The other mode here, challenge mode, is essentially just like the tutorial, only it's a challenge this time. A real fucking challenge, and not for much reward either. This is where I'm actually happy that there are still more levels to unlock in career, playing through as different skaters. Some people might say this game is weak next to Pro Skater, and there is truth to that statement because it's obviously not on the same level, but who cares? Because this is fun to play. I know, right? Me, the harshest critic in the game, actually happy to be playing a bootleg Tony Hawk game? Man, I never thought I'd see the day, but I'm so glad it's finally come. Let's get one thing clear though. Some of these stages are not skater friendly. Just the way things are laid out, some of these have the life choked out of them because you're constantly stopping and starting your runs, mashing buttons hoping to achieve your goals. And with a total of 15 locations to see, most of them look the same. Hell, 2 of these levels both take place on this structure suspended out at sea. Even though they're connected, there's a gate blocking your path to the other area, so what's the point? Just give me 1 level in this location with access to the entire thing, please. It's the same as the castle area. It's mostly open courtyards and walls to skate, but one of them has this dungeon area where we need to rescue prisoners. Playing through the career a second time, we come back to this level, and it's the exact same thing, only this time, instead of the dungeon, there is a hallway that leads down to a boss fight? Against a giant spider? Okay, now that's pretty metal. Hang on. That music. Man, is that Castlevania music? Frogger is not the only Konami property to feature in this game, though he is the most special. This fight is pretty simple, we just need to grind along the spider webs, but presentation-wise, my god, it's fucking cool, dude, especially with that remix tune. Now, I haven't played any of the franchise past Symphony of the Night, so I don't know if we ever fight this thing in an official Castlevania title, but I recognise that tune, and skating around to this makes me so happy. In fact, we can even unlock a vampire killer who kind of resembles a Belmont. I don't know why he's called Vampire Killer, but whoa! Now Vampire Killer is playing! Holy shit! This is so fucking cool! I don't care how breedable he looks in that little man skirt with his whip on his waist, rolling down into this huge cathedral and meeting face to face with a vampire, presumably Dracula, as a Belmont on a skateboard for another boss fight. This is the fucking tits. It's like two of my favourite series being thrown into a blender to make a smoothie, and let me tell you, it goes down just right. Fuck what anybody says about the imperfections of this game, because this creativity far outweighs the negatives. Once we knock out all of the little skeletons, a big skeleton appears, and whoa, look at him go! Where's he going? He's on the move, dude, he's got places to be.
Defeated me.
Yo. That was probably one of the coolest things I've ever played. I mean, the only thing even comparable would be Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2, which ended off with a boss battle against a giant tiki god with a first-person rocket launcher fight, but honestly, that was janky as shit and completely out of left field. On the other hand, this vampire killer thing was actually really damn cool. Though it does raise the question, why wasn't this the final fight in the career mode? No matter how many times we go through the career, we always get the same two boss fights against the truck and the tank, which is so underwhelming. It's so odd then that there are also two boss fights hidden within actual skatable levels. Very odd decision. Along with Castlevania, the Metal Gear Solid games also have a notable presence here, with the inclusion of both Solid Snake and Raiden being playable characters, as well as this level I mentioned earlier actually being Big Shell from Sons of Liberty. This level isn't the best, but it's still cool to see. Now, I haven't played any of these games personally, but I am aware that this content was also made available in the PS2 version of MGS2 Substance as a demo for Evolution Skateboarding. What a crazy crossover. Before Snake and Belmont were in Smash, they were in Evolution Skateboarding, baby. Oh yeah. It's weird though that Belmont is vaguely named Vampire Killer. They have the rights, just do it. It's also odd that despite some of the interactive elements on the shell, Castlevania had 2 of the 4 boss fights in the game, while Metal Gear had none. Other than all of that though, the rest of the unlockables here are rather underwhelming with no additional stages. All in all, I'm feeling a lot of tension trying to compile my thoughts on this game. I know the general response has ranged from being underwhelming to downright garbage in comparison to Pro Skater, but I honestly think that's a bit harsh. What this game struggles with is nailing that fun control scheme that made Pro Skater so popular. While it had street skating, there was also huge vert airs through the realistic and ludicrous levels. This game takes the ludicrous levels a step further, and I do like that, but the controls hold it back from achieving something truly special. But having said all of that, what this game does well far outweighs many of my complaints. It not only took that foundation it established and built upon it by expanding the experience with a lot more bang for your buck, but it also innovated. The evolution of skateboarding as a whole has always centered on the creativity to invent, so seeing the further fleshed out expression of the player's identity needs to be commended here, as it beat Pro Skater to the punch on several of its biggest selling points that it would have in the years to come. Listen, this game might not be perfect, but with God as my witness, this may just be the best alternative to Pro Skater that I have ever played, so don't knock it until you try it. It feels familiar, yet it is still something different to Pro Skater, and if you can appreciate the positives here for what they are, then Evolution Skateboarding rightly deserves a 6 out of 10. I'm not going any higher than that because there are still some obvious flaws here, but man, the game is still good fun. Definitely give it a go. It's still insane to me that this came out so close to Disney Sports Skateboarding. 2 games by the same development team on the same engine, and yet one drastically outperforms the other. Alright, well I hope you all enjoyed today's video. We've only got one more day of October left this year, so be sure to tune in for tomorrow's final episode. Who knows, maybe we'll find a game that can actually top this. But until we find out, remember to leave a like, subscribe and share the video with your friends and on social media. I'm Square Eye Jack and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.